Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling what is hands down the biggest logistical hurdle of switching to electric transportation. We always hear about the cars themselves, right? But today, we're zooming in on the infrastructure. Specifically, how the current charging gap is being actively solved by both government policy and private innovation.
It's the ultimate question, isn't it? You drive a shiny new EV off the lot today, but where exactly are you going to plug it in? We're kicking things off here because, well, it's the most immediate real-world challenge of owning an electric vehicle right now. According to a recent Consumer Reports deep dive, about a third of Americans say they'd happily buy an EV today, but that excitement hits a brick wall when they think about the logistics of charging. It's literally the number one concern holding people back.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at 1, the EV charging gap, 2, how government funding is shaping the future, 3, the massive retail charging opportunity, 4, some super cool innovations in curbside charging, and finally, 5, how businesses are actually rewarding the charging wait.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the EV charging gap.
Okay, get ready for a pretty staggering number. Out of 270,000 retail locations reviewed across 75 top retail and fast food chains, a mere 1% currently offer any EV charging. Just 1%. Honestly, it completely validates that range anxiety you might feel just thinking about running your daily errands. And, this creates a massive divide in the retail world. On one hand, you have trailblazers like IKEA offering charging at nearly 100% of their US stores. But on the flip side, major discount chains like Dollar General or your go-to fast food drive-thru have basically zero options. Right now, there isn't a single retail category where you can just safely assume, yep, there's definitely going to be a charger waiting for me. So, the big takeaway here is that we're staring down a massive infrastructure deficit. To meet the projected demand by 2030, we're going to need an estimated 1.25 million public chargers. But as of right now, federal data shows less than a tenth of those have actually been built. Less than a tenth. That is a gigantic gap we need to close in just a few short years. Which brings us to section 2, government funding the future. To help fix this, policy is stepping in. The California Energy Commission, for example, is strategically distributing millions for the 2026 to 2027 fiscal year. We're talking $48 million specifically for light-duty passenger vehicle charging. Then there's $30.2 million to tackle medium and heavy-duty transport, which is absolutely crucial since those massive trucks pump out a lot of emissions. Plus, they're throwing in another $15 million just to build out hydrogen refueling. It's a really comprehensive approach to how we fuel up. But, it's not just about where these chargers go, it's about who they serve. State law actually mandates that at least 50% of these CEC funds must actively benefit low-income communities. The goal here is equitable access, specifically targeting a drop in air pollutants like nitrogen oxides and particulate matter in neighborhoods that already deal with the worst air quality, like those right next to heavy freight corridors. Moving on to section 3, the retail charging opportunity. Now let's look at the private sector, because retailers have some incredibly strong self-interested reasons to put chargers in their parking lots right now. Studies show that installing a nearby fast charger bumps foot traffic up by an average of 4%, and revenue jumps by 5% as customers wander in and shop while their car charges. Add to that the Federal Inflation Reduction Act, which throws in some very lucrative tax credits. We're talking up to 30% of the installation cost covered, maxing out at a whopping $100,000 per charger for qualifying spots. Because of this, the giants of retail are totally making their move. Take Walmart. They are aggressively expanding their fast-charging network in California, hitting cities like Fresno and Vallejo, and they aren't messing around with basic chargers either. They're rolling out ultra-fast 400-kilowatt units. Super smartly, their charging stalls feature dual cables, meaning they can handle both the traditional CCS connectors and the newer, more compact NACS connectors. Basically, almost any EV pulling in can get a charge. Next up, section 4, innovations in curbside charging. This is where we meet tech players like VoltPost. Instead of dealing with the headache of pouring fresh concrete for brand new standalone stations, they're doing something ingenious. They are transforming existing urban lampposts and utility poles into fully functional EV chargers. They're just tapping into the real estate and the wiring that's literally already sitting right there on the curb. Let's rapid fire the advantages here, because this solves so many city planning headaches all at once. Deployment takes just hours, not weeks. Installation costs are slashed by up to 70% compared to the traditional units. There's absolutely zero messy sidewalk trenching or concrete cutting involved. And for cities, a big win is that it dramatically reduces visual clutter by just using the poles that are already standing there. It's an incredibly scalable solution. Finally, let's hit Section 5, rewarding the charging wait. Look, fast charging still takes time, usually somewhere between 15 to 45 minutes. But instead of just sitting alone in your car scrolling social media, new platforms are basically gamifying the whole experience. The flow is super straightforward. You plug in your EV, pop open an app on your phone, and boom, you are instantly incentivized to go explore and shop at local businesses within walking distance while you wait.
Startups like Nerva are really pioneering this space. They call themselves the programmable incentive layer for EV charging. Basically, they build systems that offer drivers actual cash rewards for charging up, while simultaneously giving the restaurants and shops right next door some highly targeted customer exposure. Think about it. The driver gets paid to wait, and the local coffee shop snags a new customer who happens to be stuck in the neighborhood for the next half hour anyway. It's a total win-win.
And this perfectly aligns with what those retail giants we talked about earlier are doing to lock in customer loyalty. Walmart, for instance, offers members of its Walmart Plus program a 10% discount on charging rates, knocking the average cost down from 46 cents per kilowatt hour. The strategy? Keep the driver hooked into the Walmart ecosystem. They'd much rather you spend your 30-minute wait browsing the aisles inside the store than just sitting out in the parking lot.
Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, with billions in government funding pushing for equitable access, massive retailers waking up to the profit sitting right in their parking lots, and tech startups literally turning our street poles into charging hubs. The grid is expanding faster than ever. So I'll leave you with this. As all this infrastructure continues to solve the logistics gap right before our eyes, will it be enough to convince you to make your very next vehicle electric? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I hope it gave you something to think about.